First of all, I am really caffeinated. I haven't had a lot of food today. For breakfast, I had a bagel with some guacamole. It was tasty, but that was a couple hours ago, and I had coffee in between while I was waiting to eat my donuts. This is what these two boxes are. They are, first, let's reveal before I get into my spiel. Got a nice little note here. They're from my good friends at Lousy Hunter Donuts. Oh yeah, look at these babies. Oh, sliding. Okay, I'm gonna put them onto the board here. All right. Hopefully you can see. Here's one donut. Yeah. This is called unicorn poop because it's got sprinkles. This is the OG glazed. This is cinnamon roll. Okay, I hope I have space for all of these. I'm gonna move my coffee. Okay. This is a coffee one. I got another box because, you know, we need to go all out for y'all. Okay, I actually only have two more. I have El Barto, which I've tried before, and then maple. Let's see, can I fit this in here? Let's create some space. Oh yeah, guys. First of all, I'm really freaking hungry and really caffeinated, so please forgive if I'm just silly AF in this freaking video. I've probably now said freaking like 15 times. I'm very sorry. I do have a topic today, but first let's have a bite of these donuts, right? Which one do we start with? Okay, so this is a cinnamon roll flavored one, and I haven't tried this one. So let's start with that. Oh, it's gorgeous. It's beautiful. Oh my God. That's stupid good. Also, I now have lipstick probably everywhere. No, just on the donut. Okay. Okay, guys. Look at this beautiful donut. Look how big it is. So, oh God, glaze. There's glaze on it, and then there's like this cinnamon brown sugar crumbly topping on it that is crunchy when you bite into it. It's everything you've ever wanted in life. If you like cinnamon things, this really tastes like a cinnamon roll in a donut, and it's just freaking magical. Okay. Coffee from Pine State Coffee. I think it's Pine State Coffee. It's either Pine State Coffee or Pine Street Coffee. I'll link everything below. And also I'll definitely link Lousy Hunter's Instagram, where you can keep track of when they do pickups and donut orders. You need these donuts for freaking real. And Josh and Tanya are the nicest people on this planet. Passionate vegans making bomb ass donuts, guys. Warms my soul. I'm also a little warm in general from all the caffeine. You're going to have to forgive me. My hair has to go back. Oh, where's my hair tie? I'm trying, it's always on my wrist. I'm trying to like keep track of it. Okay, so let's get into this topic because we have to talk about the movie The Perfection. And if you guys haven't seen it, it's a Netflix original with Allison Williams, and it is just a wild freaking ride. I recommend that if you're into horror and thriller movies, watch this, because I promise you what you think this movie is about is not what it's about, and it's just shock value and intense. Okay, next donut we're trying. This is the Pine. Okay, I have to know. Is it Pine State or Pine Street? 1 second. It's in my phone because I have to get directions from it all the time. Okay, it's Pine State coffee. So this is the Pine State donut. And I mean, it's coffee flavored. I assume that they use Pine State coffee, but I don't freaking know. Anyway. Guys, I'm dying at how beautiful these donuts taste. They're amazing. And the rays on them. I know if you guys watched my updates / car mukbang video a couple weeks back, some of them were having trouble with controlling the climate in the kitchen that they were in. Some of them were a little flat. They've definitely got the rays perfect this time. I mean, they're all around the same height and they're so soft and yeasty and chewy and I'm gonna die, but I'm gonna die happy. Okay, the perfection. I'm going to try and go through this movie. Spoiler alert right here. I'm going to try and go through the synopsis of this real quick. So, main girl is Charlotte. She used to be a world-class young cellist, super good at playing the cello. She had to take a break because her mother was sick and she took the time off to take care of her mother. She's back now. She sought out her previous teachers at the school that she was at, goes to China to talk to them because they're recruiting for their school, and she gets to meet the school's up and coming star pupil, and her name is Lizzie. They form a connection immediately. There's a really they form a connection immediately. They start, talking, and they go out for dancing, and they eventually sort of have sex, and they decide that they want to go and see a little bit of the countryside of China while they're in Shanghai. Shit gets real when they do that. Let's take a bite and then we'll move into it. This is the original glazed, and I have to say, I judge every donut place by their glazed donut. I don't care what toppings, what crazy fillings you have. If you can't do a glazed donut right, we can't be friends. We can't be donut friends. This is the glazed donut of my dreams. This is everything I've ever wanted in an original glazed donut. So soft. And not too overly glazed. A really nice even coating all around. So good. So Lizzie and Charlotte, they get onto a rickety bus because Lizzie wants to sort of rough it out and see China's countryside, I guess like how the locals would. They get onto this bus, and mind you, Lizzie has not been feeling well because when they went out the night before, they had a couple drinks. She didn't feel well. She felt hungover. Charlotte gives her some what seems like ibuprofen or Tylenol or whatever to help her with the hangover. Well, Lizzie does not feel better. They try to get her breakfast. She doesn't feel better after that. They get onto the bus. She's still not feeling great. And then Lizzie starts to feel so bad it escalates. She's freaking out. She's vomiting, like projectile vomit. At one point, she has to get off the bus because she is just like yelling, "I'm gonna shit," blah, blah. I know that's not appetizing, but she's just going to like poop herself, basically. She goes to take care of that. She gets back on the bus, and at one point, Lizzie just projectile vomits onto the wall or onto the window of the bus. And Charlotte sees this and she's like, are those fucking bugs? Sorry for the F-bomb, but that's what she says in the movie. And Lizzie looks over at where she vomited and she sees these like wriggling maggots in her vomit. And she's freaking out because she had mentioned earlier that there was, a virus going around in another part of China that she had just recently came from. So she's freaking out. Things are freaking out. So they get off the bus. The bus driver is just so freaked out by this that he has now thrown them off the bus. They're like miles away from the next town. They don't know where they are. Okay, let's try another donut. And then we'll get into it. This is the unicorn poop one. I love that name. That's awesome. So this is just a chocolate glazed with starry sprinkles on them. And I love sprinkle anything. I love how the sprinkles, you can actually like kind of taste them. And they're so nice and crunchy. I love how it breaks up the texture. Good chocolate glaze. I like it. So they get off the bus. Lizzie is just getting worse and worse. And at one point she stops because her arms are on fire. Her insides are on fire. And at one point she's looking at her arms and these bugs start bursting out of her arms, guys. And can I just say that this deeply unsettled me because there aren't a lot of things that truly stick with me when I watch horror movies. Like, I'm a baby. Horror movies scare me. Hands down, 100%, I always have trouble sleeping after a scary movie. But bugs freaking scare me. I don't know what it is. Don't really enjoy the whole bugs under the skin thing. I still watch them anyway because I'm a masochist. I love torturing myself. But so bugs burst out of her arm, and then all of a sudden Charlotte pulls out a cleaver and is like, you know what you need to do. And Lizzie, in her crazed, like sickened state, grabs a cleaver, chops off her arm. At this point I was like, what the fuck? And then the movie starts rewinding, and then you see that Charlotte actually gives these pills that her mother was taking that causes hallucinations. So that's the cause of what's happening to Lizzie. Like, nothing with these bugs are real. She's just hallucinating and tripping hardcore. So what happens is that Lizzie chops off her arm. Charlotte wraps a tourniquet around her and then disappears. And Lizzie is sort of left to deal with the mess. She wakes up in the hospital days later. The doctors told her that she had been drugged out of her mind. She lost her hand, and she had to go back to the cello school and basically face the fact that she could no longer play like she used to. She was a rising star. And the head teachers at this cello school basically told her, well, we don't really have a use for you. Like, this is a school. And they were really cold about it. They're like, we'll put you up in an apartment, but we can't do anything for you. This is my favorite. We're moving on to the ones that I've already tried before. This is the El Bacho, the Butterfinger one. So it's a chocolate glaze with Butterfinger pieces all over it. It's so amazing. It's so good. This is my favorite. Oh my God. I'm gonna have to save a bite for this for my boyfriend because people need to taste this freaking donut. And you know what? None of this tastes vegan. If I gave this to you and I didn't tell you it was vegan, you wouldn't know. Just oh my God. I don't know. Maybe I don't have to save my boyfriend a bite. He can get his own next time. I'm sorry, that was mean. So, Lizzie is obviously very distraught. Her life is ruined as she sees it. And she goes to hunt down Charlotte. She hunts down Charlotte, basically knocks her out, takes her back to the cello school to show her teachers. At this point, I'm like, I don't understand. What are you going to do with Charlotte? But things progress. And basically, we find out that Charlotte and all of the students there have been molested by the teachers, especially the head teacher. I forget what his name is, but we can call him John. And basically what the perfection is, the origin of the name of the movie, is to be able to play in this incredibly, like, acoustically amazing room that they crafted into the school, and to play every note to its perfection, without missing a beat, without missing, you know, a note. And every time that they make a mistake, they basically get punished, and being punished means being raped by the head teacher and his two brothers. And now the head teacher has a wife. I think she's his wife. And she knows what's going on, but she lets it happen. I guess I don't know what her reasoning is, but they're constantly producing and pumping out like really amazing cellists and musicians. So maybe that's it. Like, maybe she's so into the music, she doesn't care how people get to the perfection. So Lizzie Charlotte has been captured and is now gagged and bound, and she is made to play the song. I think it's called The Perfection. I don't actually know. She's made to play a song, and she makes a mistake, and the head teacher's like, you know what's gonna happen now. And she is just freaking out because she's been traumatized by all this rape. So they go to start raping her, and basically Lizzie and Charlotte knock out the two brothers. The head teacher, John, had left to go do something real quick. They poisoned them is what happened. They start choking on the drink that Lizzie actually made for them. So it turns out Charlotte and Lizzie are in cahoots. And it rewinds again back to when Lizzie went to go hunt down Charlotte, and Charlotte had to explain why she made her do that, because she basically figured that Lizzie was probably just as damaged as Charlotte was and would never be able to get out of the school unless something drastic happened to her. Now, here's where they lost me. I was like, you know, you don't have to cut off my hand. You could have just, you know, we could have sat down over a nice big glass of wine or coffee, and you could have told me your life journey, and I would have kept my hand and we would have been fine, but wouldn't have been as wild as a movie without it. This is the maple. Guys, in my last video when I tried these donuts, maple is my favorite flavor. Like, this is delicious and I would die for that flavor, but maple is just my OG, one of my favorites. They put more like pecan or walnut topping, whatever it is, on it. There was a little less last time I got it. Man, that crunchy, nutty flavor on top, super good. Guys, I know I'm talking a whole lot and not eating enough, but I just have to tell you about this movie. Okay, real quick. So now the two dudes that were gonna rape Charlotte are poisoned, and Charlotte and Lizzie are in cahoots because they finally understand each other and they actually kind of love each other, and they're damaged and crazy together, but because they were raped in this process of being at this school. So they kill the two dudes, and they go off and they kill John's wife. They find John sitting in his parlor listening to music, and he's surprised that Charlotte is loose, and they basically sort of have a free-for-all battle royale brawl, where he actually stabs Charlotte through the forearm and fucks her up, dude. Sorry, there's a lot of F-bombs in this movie. I'm really sorry. So sorry. If children are watching, I'm so sorry. But basically, they end up butchering. Oh, his name is Anton. His name is not John. His name is Anton. I knew it was something pretentious and ridiculous like that. So they end up butchering him, and now Charlotte has also lost an appendage. And the ending scene is where Lizzie and Charlotte are actually sing together behind a cello, and they end up forming one. They sort of form one whole cello player, and they like use each other's like remaining appendages to play the Perfection song. And Anton is just, I don't know if he's alive. I think he's alive, but he's sitting in the chair. All of his appendages have been chopped off, and he's like being made to witness this. So, crazy freaking movie. You think it started as one thing, and then it ended as a whole other thing. And I have thoughts, and you're like, Biz, please stop talking, just eat your food. Okay, where should I go back to? The cinnamon, right? Oh God. Wow. That is so good. I hope you guys can see how like there's so much crunchy brown sugary cinnamony topping. Phenomenal. Okay, let's go back to this coffee one. Okay, I just realized that for most of that time that I was ranting and raving about this movie and not eating, I had lipstick all over my chin. I'm so sorry. I hope I fixed it now. Anyway, ooh, glazed. It's so good. That glaze is the best. Where is my napkin? Oh. That glaze is seriously one of the best glazed donuts I've ever had in my life. And that's saying a lot because I've had a lot of glazed donuts, vegan and non-vegan. What shall we do next? We have been neglecting this unicorn poop one. So, thoughts on the movie. First of all, I loved it. I had to think about it for a little bit because I was like, what? What just happened in this movie? Butterfinger one. Amazing. I was really confused for a little bit, but I've decided I really like the movie. I have some problems with this plot, but I like it. It was really unsettling, and I will say that that movie stuck with me for a couple of days. Like the scene with the bugs and the vomiting and the bugs crawling out of her arms. Like I said, I have a thing with bugs, and it's very unsettling to see all that. Maple, man. My thing being, my biggest problem is the whole like chopping her hand off, but I also understand that they're supposed to be just very damaged, like psychologically traumatized people. Maybe they don't make the best choices. Maybe they rationalize things a little differently after all of their trauma. I don't know. I've never been in a situation where I've had to walk away from rape or molestation like that. So I couldn't say. I'm sure it isn't exaggerated. And not every rape or molestation sort of situation ends up like that. Obviously not. Because not everyone comes from a rapey cello school. But, you know, I definitely understand how things could be processed differently mentally after something like that. So there's that. Other than that, I really enjoyed it and I didn't have too many problems with it. I was listening to another review. The person who directed this, he was heavily influenced by Asian cinema. And if you're not familiar with Asian cinema, some of that shit gets crazy. I've, you know, watched Asian horror flicks and I'm Asian myself and I'm not Japanese or Chinese, so a lot of those like, and Korean, a lot of those crazy like plot themes that Asians are known from come from those areas. And there's just a lot of, I feel like a lot of people, a lot of Asians are more comfortable being exposed to something really extreme and wacky. And apparently the director is influenced by that. So that kind of explains why things just seem so out of left field and then they're made to feel like in the movie they make sense. That's kind of how Asian cinema works. I just feel like they're really interested in far out themes, and especially when it comes to body horror and like the and supernatural things and trauma. Trauma is, I feel like, dealt with very interestingly in Asian cinema. So good. Now, the wide reception of this movie was not great. On Rotten Tomatoes, it was given a 20%. I told you when I was talking about The Babysitter, Rotten Tomatoes usually is not forgiving when it comes to horror movies, even horror comedies. So when The Babysitter got 70% or something like that, I was like, wow. The Perfection got 20, which I think is a little unfair, but also I'm not a professional movie critic. I don't, you know, like I take things as they are, and I personally really love The Perfection. So good. Oh my god. That was an amazing donut. I could eat 6 of just those. Obviously, you can tell which ones are my favorites. Keep returning to... Josh and Tanya. Bravo, guys. These are so good. Whew. Sugar's starting to get to me. And the caffeine. I will say, bravo to Allison Williams for picking some far out movies. First with Get Out, like, she was amazing in that. And she came from the HBO series Girls. If you've ever seen that, you'd understand why this is such an interesting transition from Girls to Get Out to this. I think she's had movies in between, but I haven't seen them. I saw her in Girls, then I saw her in Get Out, and I was blown away. And then I saw her in this, and I was like, are you a crazy bitch in real life? I'd be okay with it if you were, because you're freaking phenomenal. And she's gorgeous. She's like the kind of pretty that you're like, oh gosh, I'm a little afraid of it. Maple is so good. I really loved this glaze. so amazing. They were so good, guys. They were so good. I know, you're like, you pansy, you didn't even eat all of them. I can't. I genuinely can't. I'm dying. And I'm saving this little bit out of the goodness of my heart for my boyfriend because he needs to taste that donut. But I'm good. Now, I know I didn't eat much of this, but mostly because I paid attention to the others so much more. This was very good. I don't even normally enjoy like glazed, just plain chocolate glazed donuts, but I wanted to try it because of the sprinkles and because it, first of all, it's called unicorn poop. Why wouldn't I want to eat that? Anyway, guys, let me know in the comments down below if you enjoyed the movie The Perfection. Or if you didn't, that's fine. Let me know what you think because I would really enjoy discussing it. I feel like not enough people have watched this movie and I feel like it deserves at least one watch. So I hope that you enjoy. Oh my God, I never did my intro. I'm so sorry. Well, I was really excited for some donuts, so there's that. Anyway, my little goblins, I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you enjoy some vegan donuts or some donuts, whatever you want to do, and watch The Perfection. And then tell me what you think about it. And I will see you next time. Please don't forget to like, comment down below, subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. Bye!